The next part, part 2 in our 3-part tutorial on Benelux ornaments for baby's first Christmas, is the blue little boy ornament. Okay, so you can see the mock-up that I have created here, and that's what the ornament's going to look like, and all the elements are available to download from Creative Fabrica in the description below. I have a Creative Fabrica account, and I got to say, for the monthly price that I pay, I take full advantage of it, and I get lots of elements from it. It's unlimited downloads on a monthly subscription, or you can just purchase these individually. All links are in the description below, and if you don't want to take the time to make this ornament design yourself, it's available to download in the description below from my Etsy shop. So this is part 2. Part 3 will be adding these ornament designs to a mock-up file. That's very handy if you have a Shopify store or a Facebook page or wherever you sell your creative endeavors. A mock-up file with these ornaments on it will certainly be a great asset in trying to sell these designs. So we're going to get the 2 blue backgrounds, and we're going to arrange them so that they look really good. So this is the first part of the blue background. I'm just going to hit Control A and Control Shift C, and then I'm going to go back to my template. This is called Pink and Gold with Golden Penguin, but not for long, because when we save the little boy template, we'll give it a different name. So hit Control B. You can see this is huge again, so we're going to drag it over, haul it up. Now you can see this is your halfway mark, so we still got a bit of dragging left to do. And again, if you want to just hit Control T and go up here and change the width and the height to a percentage. You can start with 25. The thing I find about that is sometimes it disappears and we can't find it. You gotta hit Control minus to make your project smaller looking, so that you can actually see the one that you resized. So let's okay, so that should be good there. Now we'll get the other one. So hit Control A to select all. Control Shift C to copy back to your main template again. Oh shoot, that didn't resize. I didn't hit enter to make it lock in. Alright, that's easy. Fix it. Turn it over. Enter. Now it's done. Now paste your other one. Control V. And we're going to resize that as well. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. You can give it, like, let it overlap a little bit so you got that little bit of white there, and double the gold edging if you like. You can actually take it and rotate it a little bit so that it overlaps more and on an angle like that if you like, and just drag it out a bit bigger. That's pretty cute as well. It's really nice. I love this stuff. Alright, we don't want any hard edges. That's the only thing. We can't leave it like this because we're going to have a hard edge. Even though that when the Benelux ornament is pressed, it probably won't show up, but we're not going to take any chances. I'm just going to drag it over so we got no hard edges. This edge is fine because it's looks natural, right? Drag that over. See, it's like a natural edge that would be in marble or whatever. It's not like a straight white line. Okay, let's just hit enter. And this is going to be our background for our little boy baby's first Christmas ornament. Okay, so the next thing we want is our little elements. So this is one of the little cuties we're going to use. So I picked 3. I don't know if I'm going to use all 3 or not. We'll see how much space we have. So you hit Control A, Control Shift C to copy back here. Hit Control V, drag it down so that it's smaller. It's way too big. You know what I might do? Oh, he's so cute. I might, I'm going to go in here and edit, transform, flick horizontal, and I'm just going to let him hang out there a little bit. There. Part of him is going to be cut off at the bottom of the ornament, but we have his face, and that should suffice. Now again, he kind of blends into the background too much. So I'm just going to double click on this layer, and we're going to give him a bit of a shadow. So that's a bit of too much of a shadow, I think. So we're going to just drag the spread down a little bit. And the size. No, maybe we'll up the size so that it's more of a feathered appearance. The distance is saying 8. We're going to take the distance down to a 4. And take the spread down to 6. Okay, I think we got just enough contrast there. That looks great. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to get our font again, and we're using the ALEXIA Bright script. And I'm going to choose a color based on the colors in this design, and I'm going to choose the darkest blue that I can find in that little element. So this one. See how that looks. Baby. Oh, that looks great. First Christmas. Okay, and we can leave that right there. Now I'm going to make that pop a little bit. And to do that, I'm just going to double click on it. I'm going to give it a stroke. Now you can see that it looks like a little bit of a gold stroke. It's inside. I don't want it inside of the actual text. I want it on the outside. So I find when you put a stroke on the inside, it cuts the inside down too much. So we're going outside. Baby's First Christmas. I find this is a little dull. I'd like to have a little bit more gold. So on gradient, you click on gradient. If you scroll where? There should be in here somewhere basics. Nope. Okay, when you're playing around with gradients, we're looking for a gold gradient. So what we can do is pick the colors from the actual gold flecks that are on the background here. So let's cancel this, cancel, and get out of it. Now we're going to make this bigger so we can more easily pick the colors out of the gold parts, if that makes any sense. So just double click it again and you'll see what I mean. We're going to hit stroke. Now stroke is set to inside, and again we're going to change that to outside. Our gradient is just more looking more of a yellow than a gold. So we're going to grab some colors out of the gold. We're going to start with a light color, if we can. Okay. And we're going to randomize it a bit. That's not looking gold to me. No. It's a little too brown. I do have a nice gold selected here. A gradient that I had for a previous project. I'm just going to try it. Nope, that's not either. That's certainly not. Let's just try neutral. Nope. We'll try a baby blue. Cancel that. We'll change it from gradient to no, definitely not gradient. We'll try gradient still, but instead of linear gradient, we're going to go with a shape burst. So I'm going to show you what that does. You go into shape burst and you just hold these out. We're going to only have two different colors. We're going to change this to say a blue. Okay. Now you're saying this looks stupid, and it is stupid. I'm going to get a baby blue. Okay. So that's making our words look a little fuzzy. We don't want that. So what we do is we haul this over just this much. Click it again, and that'll duplicate this color. We're going to haul this one over that much, and click in here, and that'll duplicate that color. Now we want to put a hard line between these two colors. So to do that, you drag them both to about to the middle. Say, okay, we're not done here. We're going to make this a little bit bigger. That's looking really, really stupid. Okay. So we're going to hit reverse. There. Okay. So now you can see that we have a stroke created around our original text. And it's light blue and dark blue, and it gives the contrast to the letters. And I think that is just perfect. So hit OK. Now you can hit Control minus, and it'll zoom it back out for you. And there you go. So we also want it to say 2021, or whatever year you're making this for. So to do that, we'll just duplicate this. So to duplicate a layer, just click on it, right click, duplicate layer. Okay, so we have a copy here now. So we're just going to call this year. Okay, so select the year, drag it up. Now get our type tool here, double click on it, hit Control A, and type out your year, 2020, 2021. Okay. We want to make that a little bit smaller. And we want to put it somewhere a little bit less conspicuous. So I think right here, that shouldn't be close enough to the edge that it's going to get cut off. Okay, baby's first Christmas. So the next thing we want now is we want our little opening for the baby's picture, and we want the baby's name. So these two layers we have for the background here are all in one. So we're just going to right click on the top one, and we're going to say merge down. And that'll combine the two layers. Okay. So next thing we got to do now is we got to get our elliptical marquee. We're going to put a we're going to do an oval on this one. I'm going to take the feather off because I want to put a gold border around that. Okay, so we're going to change the feather to 0 because we don't want the fuzzy edge on this one. We just want a hard edge. And we're going to, not doing a circle, we're just doing an oval. So that's not. I got the outside area selected. I'm just going to hit Control D to get rid of those little marching ants, and then I can drag out my ellipse. Alright, so I'm going to start a bit right here because I'm putting a name on top this time. And no, I want it a little bit overlapped with baby's first Christmas. So come over here a little bit there. We don't want it too close to the edge so that it gets cut off. Alright. So click on your background layer. You got your ellipse selected here. Just make sure that that's selected and hit delete. Now, what you got to do now to get a gold colored frame on this picture. So it's selected here. We're going to go up here to select, modify, expand. I'm going to try it at about 40 pixels. We're working on 300 pixels per inch, so 75 is 1/4 of an inch. Half of that would be about 1/8 of an inch. So 40 is handy about 1/8 of an inch on your actual ornament. That's how big the selection will be. So say OK. Okay, that's a little bit too big. I'm going to hit undo, which is Control Z. I'm going to go 25 maybe. Selection, modify, expand, 25. Okay, that's good there. So we're going to create a new layer. So in order to do that, we want the layer to come up right over top of this background layer here. So you hit Control Shift N, and it comes up with a new layer. I'm just going to call this one frame. Okay, frame. Now we're going to fill in the whole selection here for frame with the white fill. So just make sure that your foreground color is set to white. Up here, your paint bucket tool, grab that, click inside here. Now this is set to white. So we just modified that. We expanded it by 25 pixels. So now what we want to do is contract it by 25 pixels and take it to center. Filter, oh sorry, modify, contract, 25. Okay. So now we hit our delete key. We'll turn this background layer off. Actually, we can get rid of that. We don't even need that. There. So you see this white ring now? That's our actual frame. If we turn this layer off and this layer off, you see that you have a frame here. So let's just turn this back on. This can go as well, I think. No. We'll leave this where it is. Okay, so on our frame layer now, we want to double click. Go into styles. These are styles that I've collected over a while. I can share the settings of these with you if you want to use this. Okay, so I like the gold, but it doesn't really mix with the gold that's on the ornament. So we're going to try a different gold. I got several here. Kind of like that one. Let's try silver. Well, silver's cute too. I think I might just go with a silver. Oh, I like that. I'm going to go with that. Say okay. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab a baby boy picture now that we can pop in here. So here's a picture I found on a stock photography site. This is the one I'm going to use. I'm just going to take the lock off the background layer here. Now it's layer 0 instead of background. Hit Control A, Control C. Go back to your template, and we're going to put this little cutie in this frame. So to do that, we want him right underneath the blue background layer. So just click the layer beneath that, hit Control V and Control T, and that will show you the handles for your photo. Just grab hold of the arrow key and drag it down, and we're going to put him right in the... So when you're dragging a picture to put in a frame, make sure that the edges, all edges, are beyond the limitations of the frame. So you would want to do this, because then you're going to have a white layer, white edge showing up on your picture. Right here, you don't want that. Looks ridiculous. Okay, I think we're good. And this little guy's name is going to be, what are we going to call him? Caleb Ryan Phillips. And again, we're not going to use text with a layer style. We're just going to use a plain text with a, say, a dark blue font. Okay, we have our ALEXIA Bright script. We're just going to click in here. We want our text layer to be up over on the top, so just drag it up. What did I say his name was? Caleb Ryan Phillips. C-A-L-E-B R-Y-A-N-P-H-I-L-L-I-P-S. Control A. We want to change the color now. And we can either set the color here in the right in the main program, or we can add it as a layer style. But I'm just going to click on the little color icon here. I'm going to go in. It gives you eyedropper tool. So I think I'm going to grab the blue out of the Baby's First Christmas. Okay, I'm not real keen on that. I would like to have it a little darker. There. I think that looks nice. Alrighty. So now click your selection tool. This will give your text some handles that you can resize. Now, this is probably not going to be the best thing, because it's not going to show up the best. Maybe we don't want that on top of anything else. Maybe let's just change the size of our frame. So to change the size of the frame, just go to your frame layer. And you see that it encases this with these handles. So if I just grab this one and drag it down, it's going to make the whole entire thing smaller. Pop back into that. Shit. I think what I'll do, I'll just get my text tool again. I'll make this like so. Make it a little bit smaller by hitting my selection tool, dragging it down, and I can just put his name right here, and that way it's not over top of anything. And always watch out in Photoshop for these little pink lines, because they tell you where things are lining up and where they're not lining up. So you can see that the vertical pink line shows me that this is placed right dead center of the ornament, which is great. And also the horizontal pink line shows me that the top of this text box is lined up exactly with the middle of the 2021 text. If I drag it up a little bit, it shows that it's lined up now exactly with the top of the 2021 text. If I drag it down, it shows it's lined up with the bottom of the 2021 text. And you can see that it's the actual text, not the text with the stroke added. So we're going to leave this without any styles, because like I said, if you're doing this in, say, I don't know, Canva, maybe, I don't know, I'm not familiar with Canva. Any other kind of graphic design program that doesn't have layer styles, you won't be able to duplicate it. You won't be able to edit it. If you're working in Photoshop, it's fine. You can add the same layer style. You can add the same layer style as the Baby's First Christmas, and that way, like I'll show you. If you're working in Photoshop, you just go Baby's First Christmas, right click, copy layer style, click on Caleb Brian Phillips, right click, and paste layer style. So you see that if you're working in Photoshop, there's so much more flexibility that you can have with your designs. I love working with Photoshop. It just makes everything so easy. And if you have Photoshop and you're going to use a layer style, you can easily layer this over top of the baby's photo. But if you don't, and you're, let's close the text there. If you just have plain text and you put that over top of here, it's kind of hard to read. So we don't really want to do that. So we'll just put them right here. I think it's absolutely adorable. And another thing you can do, if you find this is a little bit too much text down the center here, you can grab this Baby's First Christmas, make it smaller, and put that over on top of the little guy. And that balances out a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger. You can drag it a little. You hold your shift key and drag your handle here. It makes it a little bit wider. We can do that as well. There. And that's about it. So you can see that this white layer here, if I turn this off, up here you can see that it disappears. It's not white, it's just transparent. So it's still going to come out white on your ornament. But in here, there's no white. There's no white color to fill this in. So you're going to get actual bits of the baby. But if I drag this up over, no, still doing it. Okay. So that's how easy it is to create a couple designs for some Baby's First Christmas ornaments. These designs will be on my Etsy store for purchase if you'd like to buy them. If you'd like to go on to Create a Fabrica and download all these elements to do them yourself, by all means. The links are provided in the description below, and again, I do get a little small percentage of what you purchase off Create a Fabrica, and that helps me to be able to create videos and show you how to do these things. So the next video that I'll be putting up, I'll be using these two templates, and I will be providing a link to a BENELUX ornament mock-up file that you can use to promote your products on your Facebook page or on your Shopify store, Facebook ads, whatever you use. So stay tuned because that one's coming up next.